The Institute of Internal Auditors presents the All Things Internal Audit AI podcast.
In this episode of the All Things Internal Audit AI podcast, Anthony Pugliese, President and CEO of the IIA, joins Robert Perez, Senior Manager of Content, to preview some of the curated content available for members and non-members in the IIA's new Artificial Intelligence Knowledge Center.
Anthony, so glad you can join us on the podcast again. It's good to have you back.
My pleasure.
Happy to be able to talk about an important development for our members, the new Artificial Intelligence Knowledge Center, which was posted on the website. Let's begin talking briefly about what the Knowledge Center is designed to do.
Sure, absolutely. It's an online hub that brings together a really impressive amount of content from the IIA to help members navigate this new world of AI and all the myriad pieces that are coming together and still being developed around that topic, which will probably be many years into the future. It includes resources that we developed here at IIA Global, but also includes materials from our affiliate around the world and from members who've assembled to help us understand the content and to map out the kinds of content that would be useful. And it's really designed to make sure internal audit professionals have the latest information and direction in how to understand artificial intelligence and to help them foster a deeper understanding of how it's being applied in practice and how it's evolving and what they need to consider as their organizations start using the technology, which is many organizations. And the resources are free to our members. If you're not a member, there will be some things that will be protected behind a paywall. But we're really excited. We're really excited to have this in the market for our members. And there's been a lot of organizational interest in making sure members have the most up-to-date information.
So before we get into the variety of content that we could be finding on the Knowledge Center, tell me why this was a priority to get this created.
I'll start with that. Probably a statistic you've heard of, everyone's heard of, is it's the fastest adopted technology in human history, which is amazing, right? November of 2022, and here we are a little over a year later talking about how pervasive it is in the world. But it's taken the business world by storm. That's clear. And we have to understand how all these tools are working their way into business applications and processes all over the world, however that's occurring. And it's going to continue to keep evolving. And a key finding from some of the Vision 2035 research that we've conducted, which isn't public yet, but will be in July, really highlights the interest and concern and understanding opportunities that AI will have on the profession. So we're getting that feedback quite consistently from members. AI is not a new concept, right? Internal auditors, particularly in large companies and technology-oriented companies, have been using AI and machine learning for many years now. And we developed an AI auditing framework back in 2017 to address this emerging trend and how many organizations were using it, and by default, the internal auditors that were looking at it. But what has changed recently is the addition of generative AI tools like ChatGPT, which is very powerful, and it's one of many, which adds to the AI toolbox that organizations use. And generative AI tools are unique in that they are so easy to use without truly understanding risks. We talk about the opportunities, but we have to think about the risk as well. So we conducted a member review of the 2017 auditing framework I just mentioned in summer of 23. And the conclusion was it was still widely applicable, but it needed to be updated. So we took the opportunity to update it using some subject matter experts. We completed that, and it's been published a couple weeks ago to a lot of member interest, which we're happy to see. I think from an internal audit perspective, that means we have to really develop a deeper understanding of the technology as soon as we can to make sure that we're providing value in this area. A lot of organizations have begun to understand that AI is not best for cost cutting. It's best for revenue enhancement. And that brings with it, a myriad of risks, as well as the opportunity, obviously, of having new revenue streams coming into an organization. So things like bias, things like the development, security, making sure there's internal controls around it, policies around it, the boards are aware of it. It's just a lot of new information that are coming at the profession right now, and we're excited to be able to support that.
With that in mind, what are members going to find on the Knowledge Center itself?
It brings into one place all the resources we have to date, so it's going to constantly be having things added and subtracted as they become less relevant and other things are more relevant. But it's not just content that we've developed here at Global. It's content that's been developed, as I mentioned earlier, by our affiliates and by some of our regional bodies, like the European Confederation of Institutes of Internal Auditors, or ECIIA, and by members who are really at the forefront of AI and understanding it, such as Mark Ulrich, who's a professor at Duisburg-Essen University in Germany. The Knowledge Center also provides a lot of resources that are tailored to learning styles and learning needs. So it's not a one-size-fits-all, which we're happy to be able to provide it in that format. It'll have magazine articles, it'll have knowledge briefs, it'll have podcasts like this one, many webinars we hope in the future, and more resources as we identify the opportunity. I mentioned the artificial intelligence auditing framework, which is new, updated from 2017, but it has new content in it. And we also have links to upcoming conferences and webinars that'll help members remain on the leading edge of understanding what's happening in this area.
You've shared with me and the rest of the IIA staff the significance, the importance of making sure that we deliver on AI. Where do you think the technology currently fits into business and internal auditing? And where do you believe it ultimately may end up in terms of risk and opportunities?
We try to break down how we look at internal auditing's viewpoint of artificial intelligence. And we have basically 3 domains that we look at. The first domain is understanding artificial intelligence as an audit topic, like you would, any other emerging topic like ESG or something like that. But it's a topic and it has to be looked at. So we need professional guidance around that. So they have to audit, members have to audit AI. They have to audit AI systems, AI outputs, AI inputs. So there's the topic as our first domain. The second one is understanding how AI can be used as an audit tool. And that's a big area, and it's emerging and it's growing. But how can internal auditors use those tools to improve their work? So that's our second domain. And the third domain, which we look at more internally, is how does IIA make sure that we're using AI in the most useful ways to benefit our members? And there's so many opportunities for us as well. We have updated our acceptable use policy around this. We've developed an AI policy, which we've worked with our board of directors to approve. And we've also established an AI steering committee and task force. So that's us making sure we're using it ourselves. But to your other questions, in a wider context, organizations and businesses are, they quickly embrace technologies, especially ones that promise to have revenue enhancement opportunities, and those that offer opportunities to work better, producing deliverables quicker, or more economically, or even identifying new markets and products. Artificial intelligence has all of that and so much more, and it's almost like it's on steroids. The technology is amazing in terms of potential it carries. We need to quickly understand what those are and how it affects our jobs within internal audit and also the organizations we serve. And beyond all this, we need to really understand how we can provide assurance and advisory services around the topic. And there are so many. It depends on the organization. It depends on the level of understanding of AI from the board and even stakeholders, like consider financial services using AI. That's going to become something I would imagine regulatory agencies are going to want to understand. So all that's evolving. It's an important topic. It really will change fundamentally how we do our work, as it will change every business around the world over time. It's still relatively early. It's like November 30th, to be precise, ChatGPT was put out there, and we're talking about this 14 months later. But it's evolving fast. It's taking the world by storm. So understanding exactly how far that will go, it depends on who you talk to. You have some scenarios that look like something out of a Terminator movie, and you have some that really promise to really change fundamentally how things are done for the better. So it almost like promises to rewrite the rules of business, and with that just comes so much opportunity and so many risks, and some of those risks are just not known yet. So the same can be said for many opportunities. So I believe it's imperative. I think our board believes it's imperative to understand AI and ultimately become, as much as we can as a profession, subject matter experts in the application of AI and the kinds of controls we think are needed to keep organizations safe and their customers safe and their shareholders safe. Not too dissimilar to what happened with Sarbanes-Oxley, some of the things we're seeing in cybersecurity, certainly in ESG, and other common risk areas to the profession.
So clearly, AI is going to have a huge impact on our organization, on the profession. So what can members expect from the IIA in this area in the future?
So it's still being formed. I think we have new ideas coming at us every day, which is amazing and wonderful that we have that. So we have a lot of things that we need to get done, and we've made it a priority. I think starting off, we have a strategic plan, and we've committed to making sure that strategic plan is flexible, given changes in the marketplace. This certainly fits the bill of a big change in the marketplace. So we've prioritized it in the sense of we've included it in our strategic plan and how we roll out services and products to our members. The Knowledge Center will be kept up to date regularly. We've made a commitment to that. And that, to me, also means providing thought leadership that members find valuable around this risk area, like use cases, understanding how a company may have done it, and how internal auditors may have reacted to it in that organization efficiently. And so others can learn from what they've done that's worked and what hasn't worked. And as the risk matures, as well as the opportunity, the IIA will continue to provide guidance in this area. We're committed to that. It really is the timing for us to make a claim in this space, as many other professions will be doing. And beyond all that, we'll continue to look for innovative ways to keep our members prepared and informed.
Obviously, we've covered a lot of ground, but any closing thoughts on this?
One thing that I always hear from members is, is this going to be something that replaces internal audit? And
Great question.
It's an interesting point. I don't think so, because like every technology, the need is for human understanding and conveying that understanding to senior management and to boards. I think it will help us actually grow as a profession. It'll make us more efficient. It'll make our findings more informative that we can tell management and boards and audit committees about. But no, I don't believe it will replace our profession. I think it will augment our profession. But most assuredly, it will change our profession, as it will many professions around the world, now and into the future.
That's a great stopping point for us. Thank you so much for joining me today and
Thank you.
sharing the information on AI.
My pleasure.